violent ambush in a young woman's home sets off a horrifying chain of events.
He died in her arms.
When something like this happens, you think, it could have been me.
Just look at this place.
Home invasions are not random crimes. This just doesn't add up.
It's up to Lieutenant Joe Kenda to unmask the motive behind this terrifying rampage.
And you keep beating the bushes, hoping that you're gonna find that critical link.
But is there more to the murder than meets the eye?
Maybe these girls are lying. I'm gonna bury you under a prison so far, they're gonna have to pump sunshine to you. Bad things happen to nice people. Is it karma? Is it fate? I have no idea. If I knew, I'd write a book. There's one thing that never changes: murder. A life has been taken. Their stories are now my stories. I'm Lieutenant Joe Kenda. I've solved nearly 400 homicides. Somebody has to take control. Somebody has to look out for the victim. I never know where a case is going to lead, but I'll never stop until it's solved.
It's 10 p.m. on the east side of Colorado Springs. 18-year-old Becky Hamilton is making homemade pizza with her sister Lee.
I'm a little nervous.
Don't be. I will get that.
Okay. Hey.
Their dinner guest is Lee's ex-boyfriend, Kelly Knudsen.
You look great.
Thanks, you too.
Kelly and Lee had been dating for about 4 months, and everybody who knew them said they were a great couple, seemed inseparable.
These are so beautiful.
But they had had problems and decided to break up. And since then, everybody said they were miserable. They knew they wanted to be back together.
Grab a beer.
Lee's sister, Becky, actually wanted to help bring them back together over dinner.
And all of a sudden, they hear some banging at the front door. And, you know, who could that be?
Were you expecting somebody?
No. Who is it?
Hey, we got something to give to Becky. Just take it, Becky.
She didn't recognize the voice, and she didn't know what this was about, so that actually scared her.
Though Becky is frightened, Sister Lee's curiosity gets the best of her.
I don't think we should open. We'll just stay on it.
In that split second, that wonderful evening turns into this nightmare.
Across town, it's dead quiet at police headquarters. About the only light on is the one in Detective Joe Kenda's office.
Yeah, I just finished up the last report, so I can be home soon.
I'm in my office, and I call my wife, and she's not very happy. I'm calling her at 10 o'clock at night, and I say, hey, I'm sorry, baby, it's been a long day. Is dinner still available? She said, yeah, if you come home right now, I can heat it up for you.
Yeah, that sounds good. No, actually, anything sounds good this time of night. Hang on a second. What is it?
Dispatch been trying to get a hold of you on your office phone. Something about a shooting incident, 835 East Dale.
There has been a report of a robbery with multiple shots fired, and at least one person has been shot.
I'm on it. I'm sorry, honey. Dinner's gonna have to wait. Yeah, there's been another shooting. Bye.
I was so hungry that night that dinner was priority one, but the police department once again changed my mind. Now this case is priority number one.
Minutes later, Kenda is on the scene.
This particular area is a working class kind of neighborhood since the 1950s. This area has a relatively modest crime rate.
So what do we got?
Home invasion,
3 masked men, one with a gun. We've got these 2 sisters, Lee and Becky Hamilton.
There are 2 women present who are shrieking with emotion. They are absolutely out of their minds for what has happened in this place. Asked the officers what happened. They said, well, the details are pretty sketchy, but from what they understand, this was a home invasion robbery involving 3 suspects. He was shot to death by, apparently, invaders in this apartment.
Lee's boyfriend, Kelly Knudsen, he took several rounds to the chest.
He's 30 years old, and from what the officers learned, he's a contractor.
Kelly was just the big guy with a big heart, kind of a quiet guy. He was a hard worker. He was trying to run his own business in construction. Just a good guy.
Was he alive?
EMS took him. If you ask me, I don't think he's gonna make it.
Let's go check it out.
And then we get the immediate call from the hospital. He's pronounced dead on arrival at Memorial ER.
The officer tells Kenda that the 2 women show no signs of physical injury, but are seriously traumatized.
They both cared about Kelly a lot. Obviously, they have valuable information. They're just not in a condition to tell us that at the moment, but we have other things we can do while we're waiting for that to happen.
Gentlemen?
Sir, just look at this place.
So we proceed with an investigation of the crime scene, confined to this single room, and we then start to look at this carefully. And I'm really quite surprised at what I find. There is enormous evidence of substantial gunfire in this little room.
They saw bullet holes sprayed all over the wall, all over the ceiling. Gun casing, bullet casing shells all over the floor. It looked like a war zone.
To your left, as you walk in the door, there is a large blood pool on the carpet.
You say you shot the Vic 4 times?
4 times, center mass.
Most likely the rounds are fired at Kelly Knudsen at close range, so they have enough energy to pass all the way through his body.
This cluster of 4 looks like he stood here and executed him.
He's discovered lying on his back. If you are shot in the chest and the bullet does not exit, the blood's contained within the chest cavity. When a bullet exits, you now have a drain, causing that large blood stain to appear on the carpet.
Looks like all 9mm Luger casings.
We discovered 21 expended casings in this little room. Given the number of casings, at a minimum, it's a semi-automatic pistol with an extended magazine.
It was so overkill to have a weapon like that.
Are you shooting just to shoot? What are you doing?
You always try to figure out what a pattern of gunshots can tell you and sort of figure out what the suspect's intent was.
Could be a lot of things. It could be, do I have your attention yet? You're not responding. Let me prove to you this gun is loaded.
There's no pattern, just wild gunfire.
Yeah, except right here.
He's able to focus enough of it to put 4 of them in the center of mass in Mr. Knudsen.
Sir, we found this wallet under a cabinet. There's an ID in it for a Kelly Knudsen.
Any cash?
No cash, just credit cards.
As CSIs process the wallet, Kenda continues looking for clues and spies something curious, signs of a missing object.
There's a dust mark on a table where this object was, and the wires are hanging over that table.
Looks like they took the VCR.
These people take a life. They wind up taking some money and maybe a piece of equipment. This just doesn't add up. Home invasion robberies are not random crimes. They don't break into somebody's house in the unknown attempt to take things they don't know it's there. These people, whoever they are, come here with a purpose in mind.
To Kenda, it seems that purpose was to execute Kelly Knudsen.
At this stage of this investigation, which admittedly is first blush, the only victim here is Kelly Knudsen.
Oh my God, Kelly!
These women are unhurt, so the focus has to be on Kelly Knudsen.
Want to run a background check on the victim as soon as possible?
Yes, sir.
As Kenda ponders whether Kelly Knudsen's murder might have been a targeted assassination, he turns his attention to Becky Hamilton and her sister, Lee.
The resident of this apartment E is Becky Hamilton. How would someone know that the intended victim of their anger, rage, whatever, is going to be in a place where he does not live at that moment? 21 bullets are fired and 0 hit these girls. Or maybe these girls are lying. At this stage of the investigation, we have multiple shots fired in a very small apartment. That in itself is odd. We have one victim, Kelly Knudsen. Kelly is there to mend a budding relationship with his new girlfriend. He's there to make up to Lee. That's all he's there for. We're trying to find out why people arrive at this place, of all places on the planet, to carry out this crime.
Detectives were trying to figure out whether Kelly, in fact, was a target, so there was still a lot of unanswered questions.
10-4, thank you.
Anything?
I checked all available records on Newton.
What'd you find out?
He's an honorably discharged Army veteran, ran a renovation business with his brother, and no criminal record.
So he's clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Not even a traffic ticket.
Thank you.
There is no criminal history on anyone named Kelly Knudsen, so we have no reason to believe that he's involved in criminal activity, resulting in him being multiply shot to death.
And that leaves 2 eyewitnesses, Becky and Lee Hamilton, as Kenda's best hope for some answers.
Yeah, I'm Lieutenant Kenda. I know this is tough, but we need to talk.
Yeah, I want to help.
Kenda starts with Kelly Knudsen's 21-year-old ex-girlfriend, Lee, who'd been hoping to rekindle their romance.
So, Lee, why would these people come here?
I don't know why.
Can you tell me what happened?
Becky was just trying to get Kelly and I back together. And so we invited him over for dinner. And now he's dead.
It was supposed to be a night that ended in love,
All right, you guys ready to make some pizzas?
where 2 people, Kelly and Lee, could get back together and plan their future.
Cheers. To a good night.
And instead, it turns out to be the worst night of anyone's life.
Lord, you hear me?
What do you want?
Just do what he said.
Did you see any faces?
No, none. They had on pullover masks.
They looked to be 18 to 20 years old. They were African American. They both said, we don't think we could identify them if they walked in here right now.
The guy with the gun, he was different. He had an Uzi, like a movie gun, and he was crazy.
According to these girls, he's on a power trip. He has this gun. The mentality takes over. And all of a sudden, you go to being Mr. Power Trip.
They kept talking about this stash and about this money. And we kept telling them that they had the wrong place, but they weren't listening. And they were kicking it and beating Kelly.
Somehow they had information that there might be some kind of drugs and/or money in the house.
What's this thing? I don't know, man! Stop! Get his wallet, man.
It was at that point that one of the suspects reached into his pants pocket, removed his wallet.
A couple $100? Where's the money? I don't know.
They were yelling, "Where is the stuff?" She didn't know what they were talking about. What stuff?
Come with me, let's get this money, man.
They're searching through furniture, under beds, opening drawers. They find nothing.
Lee, these people thought you had money and drugs.
I kept telling them they had the wrong place, but they weren't listening.
And that's when they get really agitated. And this incident begins to escalate even further than it already is.
Get down. Get up. Where's it at? Huh? You think we're playing? You, open your mouth. Open.
Lee was told to open her mouth, and the barrel of the gun was put in her mouth.
Somebody better speak the up. 1, 2.
Don't do that!
And this seemed to be the moment that triggered the suspect with a gun to kind of go off.
You're done.
You have gunfire taking place. In an 8 by 10 foot room, it would be deafening. Real guns are real loud. They're not like in the movies. And this thing's gonna have a muzzle flash in the dark 2 feet long. These people believe they've been invaded by the Russian army. With all this gunfire happening, and they're scared to death. So not remembering all the details is pretty common. They're focused on the gun going off, the muzzle flashes, the screams, the threats, and everything else that's happening.
He's dying. They don't want any witnesses.
He turns the gun toward Becky, but the gun goes click.
Man, it's jammed.
His intention is probably to continue shooting everybody, but the weapon fails.
Let's get out of here.
Lee believes he died in her arms.
No! Oh my God! Don't let me go! Oh my God! No! No!
Thank you.
Why would they do it? Why?
I'll find out. I promise.
Based on what they're saying, it's not a targeted hit on Kelly Knudsen. It is a targeted home invasion for narcotics. There are people who make a living robbing drug dealers. My concern at this point is, what if there are drugs in here? So my focus is on Becky, the one that lives there.
Becky, these guys knew your address and were convinced that you had drugs and a lot of money.
No, never.
Somebody had to know this address. It connects to her. What if we're being lied to?
You said they asked for you by name.
I don't know why. I swear to God, there's no drugs.
There's a simple way for Kenda to determine if Becky is telling the truth.
Excuse me. We'll be back in a minute.
If it's a drug house, there's always a measuring system. They're sold in doses. You need plastic bags, you need vials, you have scales for weight.
Hey, Steve. When you searched the place, did you find any evidence of serious drug use or drug dealing of any kind?
No, sir. There's no scales, no baggies, nothing at all.
There's no paraphernalia you normally find in people who sell narcotics. None of that's here.
Based on this information, Kenda believes Becky's story. And with that, he shifts the focus of his line of questioning.
Now, Becky is the one that lives there. This address doesn't connect to Lee, and it doesn't connect to Kelly either. So, Becky, if it wasn't you that made this happen, if you don't have any drugs in here, and you don't sell drugs, and you don't store money for drug dealers, you don't do any of that, why would these people come here? Do you maybe know something about why they came here?
Can you think of anyone that would want to hurt you?
And her whole body language changes. Her head drops a little bit. She's afraid of saying anything. Oh, Becky, you do know, don't you? She knows something of value. I want it, and I want it right away.
On the east side of Colorado Springs, Detective Joe Kenda is investigating the shooting death of 30-year-old Kelly Knudsen.
So at this point, we have one victim and two alive. We have a lot of physical evidence. And I think I'm about to learn something from the reluctant Becky as to why these three individuals selected this particular place.
Becky, I know that you're holding something back. If you know something, now's the time to say it.
There's this girl. She was staying with me.
Who is she?
Marie.
Becky then reveals that she had a roommate who is a younger single female that had stayed with her for a period of time.
I met her at a party like a month ago. She had run away from home and she was staying on people's couches, so I offered to put her up.
I think you should have enough space. You like it?
This is awesome.
Really?
According to Becky, Marie moved into her guest room several weeks earlier. At first, the arrangement seemed fine, but that quickly changed.
The issues she had primarily with Marie was that she was always playing music very loud, and she also had a lot of friends over very frequently.
That's my jam right there. Okay, let's do this.
There we go. Hey, Becky.
And Becky sees these people as what she describes as gangsters, the kind of people that use drugs that she does not want in her home. These are street people. She believes that Marie is tied with these people and that they follow her around for whatever reason. But Becky wants her out and tells her, you can't stay here anymore and have these people come over here.
Becky informed the detectives that she repeatedly had confronted Marie over this type of behavior.
Hey, look, Marie. I already talked to you about having all these shady guys over here. They're not good.
What's the big deal?
The big deal is that it's my home, and these guys, they're gangsters and thugs. Okay, no more, or you can't stay.
They're my friends. And I thought you were too.
And Marie was the kind of kid who wanted to be streetwise and tough, not the kind of person that Becky wanted to be living in her apartment with.
Becky tells Kenda the tipping point came just 2 days ago when she was putting away a laundry basket in the guest room closet.
She says, I found something in her closet. I don't use drugs, but I think it was probably cocaine. She'd suspected it, now she finds evidence of it. She forces Marie to leave.
You need to get your clothes and get out.
Where am I supposed to go?
I don't care. You're done. Go, go.
Now we're getting somewhere. If Marie hates anybody, she hates Becky for throwing her in the street.
You know what? Screw you, bitch.
So what do we think here? Marie could be vengeful. Is she a mastermind? Probably not. Is she a catalyst? Probably she is.
And so you threw her out and she was mad.
Very mad.
And then afterwards, these guys show up looking for drugs and money. You think that's connected?
Becky tells Kenda that about 8:30, Marie called her.
Yeah, so you let me back in or what? Sorry, Marie, but I don't want to live with someone who's using drugs. You bitch. We're done here. I won't forget this, you hear me?
This phone call happens and this horrible event happens. So to me, 2 and 2 equals 4. Marie is angry and Marie runs her mouth to somebody. She tells them this tale because she's vengeful. Becky's got drugs and money at her place.
Do you know where I can find this, Marie?
No, but I can give you some names to call.
What's Marie's last name?
Green.
Thank you, Becky.
The detectives start searching databases for possible records, parents, or things of that nature in an effort to try to find her.
Yes, I'm trying to track a Marie, or Marie Christine Green. Can you check and see if there's any related files in juvenile?
You put a full court press on the problem. Everybody's looking for Marie. She, in my opinion, is now the key. She knows who these people are. She doesn't know about them. She's one of them.
The efforts of Kenda and his team quickly pay off.
We have hits on a runaway child report. I talked to the officer that took the report.
What can I do for you? Hey, I'm working this case, and I see you have a report for Marie Christine Green.
Yeah, her mom called that in a month ago, and I closed it out this morning.
How so?
Well, her mom called and said that Marie came home.
Really?
The girl came home because it said she was being threatened by people on the street. And when he said that to me, it just rung true to me. Oh, really, Marie? Somebody's threatening you. Well, I bet I know who that is. The witness who has knowledge. They're going to threaten her.
With the address of Marie's mother in hand, Kenda immediately heads to her home.
Marie, there's a gentleman here to see you.
The mother is pleased that the police have arrived. She says maybe you can knock some sense into this girl.
Marie, I think you know why I'm here.
No, not really. I didn't do anything.
I think you do. about a man being shot dead in cold blood at Becky Hamilton's.
First, I want to panic her. This isn't TV, this is life. And I'm about to step on your neck.
For exclusive footage, go to investigationdiscovery.com.
I'm investigating the death of private contractor Kelly Knudsen, who has been ruthlessly gunned down by 3 masked men. We are inches away from identifying who these people are. I finally found Marie Green, a troubled 16-year-old runaway kid who may hold the key to this entire case in her hand.
Becky told me that you two fought a lot about your friends and your late nights.
Yeah, she didn't like my friends too much.
Marie likes meeting the bad guys. She likes hanging out with these people and doing a little drugs.
Here. So Becky threw you out.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
And then what happened?
I was at a friend's place. Some chick told me Becky was trying to get a hold of me. Yeah, so you letting me back in or what?
Sorry, Marie, but I do not want to live with someone who's using drugs.
Bitch!
Well, this phone conversation gets rather heated because she's got an alligator mouth.
You're a heartless piece of
While she's on the phone, 3 dudes show up.
This conversation's over.
And when she hangs up, she says,
I can't believe that bitch.
Who's that, your girl Becky?
and Marie says, yeah, Becky.
She found 1 bag of cocaine.
These are the gangsters that, or at least one of them is, that Becky objected to being in her apartment.
And you know she's sitting on a big stash, too.
Stash? What stash? You seen it?
And Marie starts talking about how she got kicked out of Becky's house and sort of hints to them that Becky would have some drugs and maybe some cash at her house.
Did she have money and drugs at her place?
No.
So why'd you say that?
I was mad.
So you're mad, and now a man is dead because you're mad?
I never thought they'd do it. I didn't. I'm so sorry.
This is it. Marie, I'm gonna take these people down, and you're gonna help me do it.
Marie, tell me about the 3 guys.
They're just some guys I met at a party. 3 black guys.
She knows them by first name only, but she knows them.
Marie names Monty, Abe, and Andy. She also tells Kenda that after her lie about the purported stash at Becky's place, Monty invited over a Hispanic kid named Danny to join them.
What's up, bro? Yo, Danny.
Hey, bro, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Hey, you ready for this?
Yeah, let's roll.
All right.
The only guy that has a car is Danny. Those other 3 guys, they don't have a car. They get rides, or Danny gives them a ride.
We're gonna go grab some beer. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Marie's 16 years old. She doesn't really understand the consequences of her actions. Probably she does not, in her wildest dreams, ever think that they're going to go and take the action that they took.
Terrified, Marie decides to move back with her mom. But on the way, Monty and his crew confronted her.
Hey, Marie.
Monty, I didn't know that her sister was going to be there, and...
You heard about Becky's, right?
Yeah,
Well, let's just forget that ever happened.
forgotten it.
Keep that mouth shut, right?
She says, they tell me that they were the ones that did Becky's, and that if I told anyone, I'd be next. Okay, this works for me, and these are the dudes.
There's one problem. Marie only knows their first names.
Are we gonna look for Abe? How many Abes are there? I have no idea. A lot, okay? They're not street names, they're real names. So where are we gonna go with that? We're gonna go nowhere fast. But a specific car that links to somebody named Danny, that's another matter entirely. The only link to these people is this car because the first name gets us nowhere. I said, tell me more about Danny and his car.
It's like red or burgundy.
Did you notice anything else about it?
It has this decal on the windshield.
All the way across the front of the windshield, it's really big. It says, yeah, boy, Y-A-A-A-A, boy. So the car is the key. And this girl has given us something unique about this car.
Thank you, Marie. Miss Green, we'll be in touch. I want you to stay at home, inside. You go nowhere. You got it?
Okay.
Now that Marie understands that her actions led to the death of another individual, she is remorseful. She has all the right reactions. It's a little late, but she does have them. So there is hope for her yet.
Kenda radios in a detailed description of the vehicle in question.
Lieutenant Kenda, dispatch.
Go for dispatch.
I need you to put a bolo out on a mid-sized sedan, red or burgundy in color. It's got a decal on the front windshield that says, "Yeah, boy."
This car could be anywhere in the city
Kenda out.
at this point, or anywhere even in the region.
Days tick by with no developments.
So you're always hopeful you're going to find this car driving by when you walk out of Marie's house. It never works that way. This is a big city, 200 square miles in the city limits. Where's this car? Somewhere, probably, here. We just haven't seen it yet.
All your patrol officers are working to try to locate that critical link. And you keep beating the bushes, hoping that you're gonna find it.
Then, one afternoon, 2 weeks after the murder,
It's around Fox 1025. Up here in the northbound lane, 4,000 block of Airport Road.
You can see that yeah boy from 3 blocks away.
There quite possibly could be a rapid-fire handgun inside the vehicle. So it is a very high-risk situation for police officers.
Driver, keep your hands up.
The suspects in the car, at least for a period of time, kind of have the advantage that the police can't see what they're doing.
With your right hand, take the key out and drop it outside your door.
Your emotions are always peaked at these moments. You are confronting someone who you believe is involved in a first-degree murder. This has the potential to go very badly.
Now with your right hand, reach out, open the door from the outside. Keeping your hands up, slowly get on your knees.
We approach that car. We are obviously in command. We have a numerical advantage. We have weapons drawn. We want no opportunity for them to resist.
His wallet. His ID says Daniel Roscoe, age 20.
I don't know if he's the shooter yet, but there's no question he was there.
Daniel Roscoe, you're under arrest for the suspicion of murder and aggravated robbery.
He's a 20-year-old kid, not armed, who is scared beyond words. That's a good sign. He's terrified. I like terrified. We've already gotten that. I need to just get the rest of the way.
responding officers bring Danny Orozco in for questioning. Kenda decides to let Danny stew in the interrogation room, while he calls Marie Green down to the station to see if she can identify him.
I'm 99.9% convinced that this is the Danny I want. He's driving the right car, but I still need confirmation from Marie, our witness. Before I jump down Danny's throat with both feet, I want to know I'm jumping down the correct throat.
Thank you for coming in.
Kenda presents Marie with a lineup of mugshots, one of them being Danny Orozco. But he's worried Marie is still too frightened to positively ID him.
People often say to me, well, didn't Danny look like a criminal? Who looks like a criminal? I used to teach at a police academy, new recruits. And I would ask them, what do you think a murderer looks like? And they'd all have an answer. It was always something out of the movies, you know, some evil-looking guy with a bad haircut and whatever. And I would reply that, no, he looks like you, and like me.
Oh my God, I can't do this.
No, come on. No, you can do this. Just want you to take your time.
Witnesses are always afraid, particularly if you have the right guy in the lineup. That is a perpetrator of a violent crime.
Look at each picture. Tell me if you recognize anyone that was involved in the events at Becky's house.
Number 3. That's Danny.
Are you sure that's him?
Definitely, that's him. That's the guy with the car that says, yeah, boy. That's Danny.
Thank you. We'll be in touch.
All right, he is the right Danny. Now it's time to play the game.
Armed with a positive ID, Kenda is now ready to confront Danny Orozco.
You know why you're here, Danny?
Nah, tell me.
You're wanted for questioning the murder of Kelly Knudsen.
The typical behavior when an interrogation begins is what you find with Danny. Danny is reasonably sure his name is Danny, and yes, that car he was driving is in fact his. And beyond that, he don't know nothing.
Do you know a Monty?
Never heard that name.
How about Abe?
I don't think I've heard that one either.
Ever hear of Andy?
Nah. Who's that?
I say, you know, it's funny, Danny, you don't seem to know very much.
So you don't know any of these guys?
Nope.
But unfortunately for you, I know a lot.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't need any of them. I'll just charge you with first-degree murder.
And somebody's gonna bury you under a prison for first-degree murder. So far, they're gonna have to pump sunshine to you.
So you want to change your story about Monty, Abe, and Andy? Or you just want to go with the same story?
I have Danny right where I want him.
Why don't you think about it, Danny? You got a minute.
He's ready to tell me the story, and I need something, anything at all, to tip him over that edge.
Hey, sir, you're gonna want to see this. Federal firearms purchase form in Danny's name.
Look at this. Well, my, Danny.
After 3 weeks on the case, Lieutenant Joe Kenda is zeroing in on the men who murdered 30-year-old Kelly Knudsen.
We've come a long way over a period of several weeks in a very complicated case of masked men breaking into an apartment down to having one of the dudes that was part of the stick-up crew, Daniel Orozco, sitting right in front of me and rattled all the way to the deepest part of his bones.
As the interrogation heats up, Kenda is handed a slip of paper, a firearms registration document in Danny's name.
I asked for a routine weapons check on Danny, and sure enough, documents come back that identified Danny as the registered owner of a 9mm semi-automatic large-capacity magazine weapon, just like the one used in the murder.
Why don't you read that for me right there, Danny?
It says, Cobra 9mm semi-automatic pistol.
A Cobra, it's cheaply made, and they have a bad habit of jamming. Just like this crime scene. When it jammed.
Cobra 9mm pistol. I'm betting that's the gun that was used in the homicide. And I think that's a big problem for you, Danny. I think that's a very, very big problem.
It's over. And Danny is about to sing like a canary.
It wasn't me. I told them not to. I told them.
Danny realized that if they're able to actually link his gun to this murder investigation, they may actually think he is the shooter.
So it was your gun that was used in the murder?
Yes, I bought it for protection.
Tell me who was there and what happened.
It's this crew I know. They're real tight. Monte, Hankinson, Abe Arrington, and Andy Carlisle.
Danny tells me everything. And it's a great story to listen to because all the mystery just goes away.
Kenda can now fill in the blanks, and it all goes back to a single flashpoint. Marie's malicious lie that Becky Hamilton was stashing drugs and money at her apartment.
I can't believe that bitch.
Who was that? Check out Becky?
Yeah, and she's sitting on a big stash, too.
They call up Danny and say, Danny, bring your gun over, bring your car over. 10 minutes later, Danny shows up.
All right, so Marie says there's a big stash. I say, let's get it.
Monty is the ringleader of this group. He's the wizard, he's the planner, and Danny did what Monty asked him to do.
Y'all down? Let's do it. Scare him good, grab the goods, and go.
I'm in.
Danny, all we need you to do is drive, all right?
Yeah, man, I'm in. No sweat.
You got the 9 mil?
Set up in the car. Just gonna scare him, though, right? Ain't nobody gonna get hurt?
Not if they give us what we're asking for. Come on, let's go.
After they devise the plan of what they're gonna do, all 4 of them get into Danny's car.
Make a left up there. Time to lock and load.
The gun is actually under the front seat.
Dude, careful with that, man. Safety's not on.
It's a big-ass clip.
He just fires 2 rounds out the window, bam, bam. Danny freaks out. What are you, nuts? And Danny realizes that maybe this was a really bad idea.
According to Danny Orozco, shortly after that, they pulled around the corner from Becky Hamilton's apartment.
All right, let's do this.
Monte, don't do anything crazy out there, all right, man?
Just keep watch. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Dude, if y'all ain't back in 3 minutes, I'm out of here.
Don't worry. That bitch ain't gonna know what hit her.
Danny claims that just before his 3 passengers exited the car, Monty issued one more instruction.
Andy, hit. Scam good.
Monty decided that Andy Carlisle should be the one carrying the gun.
I got you, man.
He's now enabled Andy to be something other than Mr. Anonymous. Now he's Mr. Powerful. He's no longer some minor person to be ignored. He's important. He's dangerous. He has this gun. Let me prove to you how dangerous I am. And he's got the gun to prove it.
Danny tells Kenda he isn't sure what happened next.
He turns up the radio to listen to music. Oh, that's Danny. He turned it up because he didn't want to hear the shots, because he knew they were coming.
The 3 run out. They've taken a VCR, a few $100s, and Kelly Knudson's life.
Don't make it. Oh my God, no.
You have no idea when you give somebody a deadly weapon what that reaction is going to be. What is this person going to do? Is it going to change them? Are they going to get out of control because they're enabled to do so by the possession of a weapon? Very hard to say. Most people, it wouldn't change at all. But some people, it changes dramatically. And I think Andy's one of those guys.
What the hell just happened?
It wasn't just that Becky chick and some other dude.
Hey, Andy shot them.
I didn't kill him. I just capped his leg a little bit, right?
Andy knows exactly where he's shooting him. Those are aimed shots. He intended to kill, well, he didn't shoot him in the leg, and Andy knows it.
What the hell? You shot somebody with my gun?
Man, just drive. Drive!
They've used his weapon to commit a serious crime. Danny is distressed to the max.
Though Danny claims what happened next was a blur, he does remember dropping off Monty, Andy, and Abe.
So the gun Andy used to kill Kelly, where is it?
I buried it in my shelf in the closet.
So now we know the story. We recover this gun out of his closet. This is the final nail in the coffin of all of these people. We have a talker and we have physical evidence to support Sam. It's a done deal.
Kenda and his men quickly move in to arrest the 3 suspects still on the loose.
Stop moving, you're under arrest. Stop moving.
Andy and Abe are arrested almost immediately at places where they're known to be. Everyone gets arrested except for Monty Hankerson, who flees the jurisdiction. He's gone, and everybody says he's gone. All his associates. No, he's split, man. He is so scared of this murder, he's gone. Can't stay gone forever.
Kenda enters his fugitive's name and physical description into the FBI's national database, placing law enforcement across the country on alert for Monty Hankerson.
Abe and Andy are charged and convicted of first-degree murder. Danny, because he cooperated, did go to jail, convicted of second-degree burglary, but not for an extended period of time.
2 years after the murder, FBI agents finally capture Monty Hankinson in California.
The old expression, the long arm of the law. Well, it reached out and grabbed Monty by the throat. Monty is charged and convicted of second-degree murder.
16-year-old Marie Green isn't charged with any crime. But Kenda lays some of the blame for the murder directly at her feet.
Kelly Knutson is a dead man because Marie runs her mouth and lies without ever thinking it was going to go as far as it did.
It's so tragic. Becky was trying to help the Marie situation, help her sister Lee and Kelly's situation, and those two acts of kindness result in a very vicious, brutal murder.
It is a rare thing in murder to have a victim that is absolutely killed at random. Kelly Knutson was a purely innocent victim. Murder is a terrible thing. Is it preventable? No, it isn't. That's what makes it so scary.